Strange Brew, the 1983 comedy classic featuring ever-drunken Canadian brothers Bob and Doug McKenzie, was actually patterned after William Shakespeare's Hamlet. And while the screenwriter did not take poetic license to create the line, to beer or not to beer, I am Evo Terra. And this is the Books and Beer Hangout.
Cerveza, beer, cerveza, beer.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Books and Beer. My name is Jeff Moriarty, and we have two guests here today to talk about collaboration between authors, Bliss Morgan and Doug Lance. Bliss, would you like to introduce yourself and what you're drinking?
Absolutely. I'm Bliss Morgan. Some of you already know my stories. I publish under the name Andrea Trask. This evening I am enjoying a limited edition Harpoon 100-barrel series called Catamount Maple Wheat. There's their very pretty, very elegant label right there. I went beer questing today to find it. And it says, "This crisp wheat ale is warming and delicious, mildly hopped to profile the distinct aroma and flavor of real Vermont maple syrup."
I want one.
Could be tasty, could be crap. We'll find out.
I would say that is a successful quest. Nicely done. Doug, you're up.
I'm Doug. I edit a magazine called E-Fiction. It's a really popular independent fiction magazine that I started from my bedroom when I was in college. I am drinking a Hofbrau Hefeweizen, which is a German beer. It is absolutely delicious. I had a bit of a story that I will tell everybody about later about this beer and how much
I like the foreshadowing. Alcohol foreshadowing. All right, this evening I have another one out of my extensive stash of Hop Slams.
Oh, man.
I had someone, I was in Total Wine here in Phoenix, and there was a man wandering the shelves, and I heard him ask someone to work there, "Do you have Hop Slam? I was told that was a really good beer."
Not this time
and
of year.
I butt in. I said, "They don't have that anymore. It's a kind of seasonal thing." He said, "What are you looking for?" Because Hop Slam's kind of edgy. "Oh, I like Sam Adams." Well, Hop Slam's got a bit of a more of a bite than Sam Adams. That's a big jump into the
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
I think it's better because I thought, okay, I'll try to help this guy out. So then he says, "Well, I don't want anything with the bite. What was that one beer that I had that was just way too bitey? It was how was that? Oh, was that Irish one, Guinness."
And he's going to go to Hop Slam. Wow.
And I'm like, honest to God, if you think Guinness is too hoppy, I got nothing. There's water fountain over there. Knock yourself out. That's all there. So, well, I love the hops.
I'm cracking into the Nitro Milk Stout.
Pour it hard.
Pour it hard, it says.
We need to get sponsorship for this.
I know. There's a fantastic cascade. Look at that. Look at that go down.
Oh, that is a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. Well, welcome, you guys. Thanks for coming here on the program with us. As Jeff said, we're going to talk about collaboration today, and I know both of you specialize in collaboration, or collaboration is a big part of what you do. Obviously, Doug, with the magazine, you couldn't do that without collaboration. And Bliss, you're well known around the Google Plus sphere, Google Plusisms, whatever we call that, as somebody who.
Well, I call my corner of it Blisstopia.
Blisstopia, I love it. Blisstopia, for all the things that you do in that. So let's go, ladies first. For those who are not familiar with Blisstopia, how are you utilizing digital technology? Google Plus was great, but anything digital to facilitate and encourage collaboration with other people?
I have managed to really kind of accidentally fall into becoming a big source of writing inspiration for a lot of people on Google+. Began back in September when I was trying to deal with this weird annual onslaught of nightmares that I have tended to have in the fall, and I figured I'm going to do some self-therapy on this, and every day for the month of October I'm going to write a little horror story and see if that can get the nasties out of my head. And I posted about it on Google+. Like you do. And a whole bunch of people said, "This sounds really cool. Here, do you want some of my art for it? Hey, can I write something too?" And I said, "Yes, here, I'll put you all in a circle." Come the beginning of October, I had 150 people in a circle, and I put up an image every day, and not quite everybody posted every day, but it was a rare day when I had less than 20 people writing something, posting it in their streams, and then linking to it in the comments to that particular picture. We hit the end of the month, and everybody had such a good time that in November with NaNoWriMo, I launched into holding Hangouts almost every single night, writer's circle type Hangouts, where a bunch of people would come into the Hangout, everybody would mute their microphones so that there wasn't really any noise distraction, and we would have a set time where we would write. Usually I would do it as sprints, which I think that you saw. You came in for one recently, Evo, where I say you've got 15 minutes, just write, and everybody goes and writes whatever it is they're working on, and I say, stop, time is done, and they post whatever word count it is that they got through. You know, we have a little bit of social time and then dive right back into another one. I do those on and off now. I did them a lot more regularly during NaNoWriMo. But now I've built a whole bunch of different pages. Every month I am running daily image prompts on a given theme for whatever particular month it is. In March, I used a page called Endless March, and it was all kind of creepy fiction sort of stuff. April was National Poetry Month, so I used words instead of images. I prompted people for poetry. This month, the page is called May I, and I'm using very sensual and sometimes sexual images to prompt people for erotica, which is one of my big interests.
So you would be considered an enabler.
I am an enabler. I am an encourager. I am, if I can be so bold, a Google Plus muse.
I would definitely think that definitely fits you well. Thanks for that backstory. Now, Doug, yours is a little bit different. I know Google Plus factors in heavily with what you do, but how are you using digital technology to facilitate collaboration?
Well, everything I do with my magazine is completely crowdsourced. So from just receiving, okay, I don't know if the audience is familiar with how a fiction magazine runs. So I produce issue like maybe 100, 150 pages of short stories. They're released to the public once a month, and so people send to me submissions of short stories, and I have a group of about 30 to 40 people. It kind of changes all the time, of people that will read submissions, and they'll vote them either up or down. So if they vote it up, then they're saying that it should be published, that this piece is publishable. So after a while, the votes will add up, and I'll just take all the best submissions from each month and put them into a Google document, upload it to the site, and then about 150 people in our workshop group for fiction, which usually like throughout the month we'll talk about short stories, and people will put up their work and we'll edit it together. But once a month, I put up the whole content of the issue, and everyone will go through it and read it and make comments. Like, there's no other technology that you can use besides Google Docs that you can just scroll through a long document and make comments to the side. So we do that, and then I release it, and then promote it on Google+, promote it everywhere. And that's,
So when you say you release it, are you taking it and putting it into another format? Are you incorporating the comments and into a final version? Or what does that final thing look like? Doug?
I think we may have some frozen Doug again, so we'll...
See, before I thought it was Bliss's horror stories that had scared him away.
Right.
So, Bliss, she smiled. Okay, she's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. No, I was processing for a second, trying to figure out if you had said horror stories or horror stories. Because I write horror and I write erotica. Those are my two big genres.
Well, I think the mashup of horror, with zombie hookers or something like that.
I've got this great story I've been working on about Jack the Ripper, where he's actually a good guy, and also there are aliens.
Of course.
That's something for another time.
Well, let's get back to that. Did you want to re-ask your question of Doug now that he has rejoined?
Pause real quick.
Yeah, we might need to do that. Looks like he's back. Oh, technology. We love the technology.
Hello.
Yes, digital collaboration. You should really try and use it for video shows. It's a challenge.
Yes. Especially
Okay.
using one where you don't have control over the infrastructure, and Google can be, somebody has spilled their Diet Coke into a server rack at a data center somewhere.
The
Annoying. That's still-
Pepsi syndrome.
Yes.
Okay. For those that recall that. What were you asking again?
I remember exactly where we were.
Nicely done.
Somehow.
I was asking whether you take your edited Google Doc after everyone's put comments. You said you release it. Is that just opening up access on the doc for view only, or is it another format?
No, I drop it into InDesign and release it in PDF, EPUB, and Mobi, and upload it to Amazon and.
So it's everywhere.
Lagging. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's everywhere. I put it up everywhere, sell it through the site. But it wouldn't be possible without collaboration at all.
Does the version that goes out for sale include all the comments that those folks make before you run it through?
No.
Is that just like the proofing and editing process?
That's just editing, and then they make comments, and then I'll go through and finalize all the information using,
Okay, gotcha. I have this wicked thing for like marginal notes and end notes and footnotes and stuff. Terry Pratchett, he did it to me. I blame him completely. So he said comments and then put it out, and I was like, oh, that must be so much fun to read. Not that it's not still fun to read, but I latched onto that idea.
No.
I like Jeff's just gesticulation. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm working on, it's a combination American Sign Language and baseball signals. Let me try that again with even more gesticulation. Your final product, is it people come in, they contribute over the course of the month or whatever the time frame is, do you then convert it into something else for release, or is the collaboration its own end product? Like you're done and everybody, that site or whatever you created is the end of it?
Well, it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Some people, everybody's got their own purposes for using the inspiration pages, the prompt pages that I run. Some people do it just because they're trying to get back into writing or they're trying to improve their writing. Some people come and use the prompts and actually write a contiguous story over the course of the month using every single prompt or almost every single prompt. I actually had one of the participants in the Nightmare Fuel project, the original one, put out a book compiling some of the things that he wrote over the course of the month. The gentleman's name is Matt Champine. The book is called Cold Shivers. I wrote the foreword. Go check it out. It's on Amazon and probably a bunch of other places. I myself have also put out a book of most of the things that I wrote for Nightmare Fuel. You can find it right now in Smashwords. Again, I published it as Andrea Trask. But one of the really great things that I've been finding is the way that people are using the prompt pages to support each other, learn from each other, and encourage each other. I got a wicked kick out of the National Poetry Month page, which was called NaPoMoFo, N-A-P-O-M-O-F-O, N-A for National, P-O for Poetry. If you guys don't know what mofo means, I'm not going to tell you. But people were actually using it to kind of push themselves through the exercise of trying out all these different styles and formats of poetry, things that I had never heard of. And it, learning from each other and saying, oh, that looks really neat, it looks really hard, I want to try that tomorrow or, next week. So yeah, some things actually are ending up getting published out of these. Some things are just for the process of it, the exercise of it. Some of it is just for people to be able to say, I am making something, I am doing something, I've got something creative in my life, which I think is incredibly important for everybody to have something that they can create in their life. Vocationally, hobbyist, spiritually, whatever.
And that's one thing that digital definitely is enabling is the people who were stymied by the creation process obviously have many more tools in front of them to create whatever it happens to be. So a little bit of a softball question maybe, and I'll try and make this not a yes or no answer, but obviously living in 2012 helps us do this collaboration through digital because we have more tools available to us than ever before. But I have a funny feeling that we're not yet there. So, Doug, what do you need? What are you looking forward to? What is it that technology is still not enabling for you to do that you need to do to really go forward? Or do you even know? Or is it perfect for you right now?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question because for me, I'm a science fiction writer, so of course what I imagine is, a virtual reality environment where you can interact with people with full expression and full communication, which would be ideal. But right now the tools are so fantastic. The only possible way that I could improve from where I'm at right now is if InDesign merged with Google Docs somehow, and Google Docs had like a really great layout system that could export to ebooks, all formats of ebooks, which I don't foresee at this point, but you never know.
Okay, Bliss, same thing to you. What do you need? What are you waiting on Google or some other technology company to come up with to help you get your stuff done better? Or is it perfect for you right now?
Right now it's fairly workable, but there are definitely areas of just the digital stratosphere as far as publishing and putting out content are concerned that are moving forward and are not nearly anywhere near their potential right now. One of the big things that a lot of folks are talking about right now is the idea of the cloud, of having basically remote amorphous storage for whatever you need stored. Google has their Google Drive going. Amazon has their Kindle Cloud Reader. A couple other companies have their own cloud solutions going on. And it's still developing. It's still a fairly it's kind of a new digital frontier, having space where people can keep their things, access it from anywhere, share it to other people from anywhere. Google had a big foot forward in this just with Google Docs and being able to share things and edit things with other people real time, which personally I love. I've been using that in a big way for some of the stories that I've got going on right now. But yeah, the cloud is one of those things that is definitely pushing forward. Another thing that still seems to me to be in flux with e-publishing is just the fact that there are still so many different formats for digital publication, which is something that I'm bumping into a lot with people who are wanting to buy my own books. They say, which formats do you have available? I have this kind of e-reader. I have that kind of e-reader. I only read on my phone. Does what you have work for what I have? This isn't something that we ran into with hard copy publishing, print publishing. You go into a store, you buy a book, you read the book. It's physically there. It didn't require any, is this going to fit into my purse? Is this the right format of book to go into my backpack? It's one of those things that I think is probably going to take at least a decade or so to kind of wash out and for it to really become a proper standard format that's going to work satisfactorily across all available e-readers. It's just not there yet.
So a question for you, because it sounds like, and I'm not sure if I want to know, Doug, what else is going on in your room or not. It sounds like you have a tuba player off to one side. I like the little fridge run in the middle. We also support getting more beers.
Sorry about that. Yeah, he was leaving. He scooted a chair. It was loud.
The off-screen adventures are intriguing. So, a question for both of you, because it sounds like in your collaboration, you're both a little bit more in a hub role. Neither one of you are saying, hey, I want to work on this particular project, the history of ancient Rome, and I'm looking for someone else to collaborate back and forth on one manuscript. You're bringing multiple people together. You're in a little bit of an orchestra role. How do you handle people you want to fire, or people that, there's always someone who's going to get involved and be a jerk or just be rude? How do you manage and coordinate those large groups of people?
This is thinly veiled attempt to get rid of me.
Yep.
Maybe.
Totally was. From the start.
Well, the groups that I have, they're very, it's very opt-in, it's very, self-promoting, self-running, and I have been extraordinarily lucky, I think, that I've really managed to attract an extremely large crowd of fantastic people on the internet. by and large, they don't tend to rub each other the wrong way. They don't tend to get in fights. They don't tend to be jerks to each other. Definitely there are times when people have disagreements, but the way that I approach the world as a whole and the internet in specific is that people are intelligent, responsible human beings who aren't usually trying to torque people off. There are exceptions, not going to lie, there are exceptions, but usually. And I treat them as such. I treat people like they're intelligent and like they're trying to, make the world be a cool place for themselves and everybody around them. And I have really extremely few disappointments with this approach.
So you obviously work with the different subspecies of Homo sapien that I tend to see. So
yeah, I'm with
enjoy
you.
that.
Minotaurs, yeah.
But Doug, pulling together both the writers and then the editorial group and so on, are you also dealing with Homo perfectus, or do you get the Homo butthead in there?
All the time. Dude, I've spent my whole life on the internet. I've seen everything, done everything. There's a ton of just total assholes out there. And, like, I moderate a Reddit. Have you ever been to Reddit? Do you guys know Reddit?
Yeah.
Do you know R Writing? I
Jeff's
moderate
a
R Writing.
gigantic Reddit guy.
There's so many just total, just really horrible people. They're just really mean all the time, and they're just
That's Reddit.
They're just grumpy for no reason.
What's your Reddit
Solution?
name? Okay.
The solution to it? Is that what you're asking?
No, what your name was on Reddit.
Oh, just Doug Lance. I'm Doug Lance everywhere. But, yeah, these guys, the only way to fix the issue if you get some, like, just total jerk is to just exercise the power that you have and set them in line, and then that's all you can do, really. Like, I mean, most of the people that I work with, personally, are just wonderful, great people, and I am so grateful that I get to work with these wonderful people, but for the assholes out there, you just got to set them in line.
I think that's a crucial difference that you just brought up right there, like the people that you work with as opposed to the people who come in from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like the people that we choose to have around us generally tend to be the people we want to be around. I have people who come in and try to troll me because, I don't know, people like to troll me. And I go over to YouTube and I find that clip from Harry Potter where Quirrell comes running in screaming, "Troll in the dungeon!" Like, oh no. And I post that and they go away. Or become really friendly.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, Doug, you said you had a story to tell about your beer. We're running out of time, but tell us, beer us out. Let's talk about it.
This beer was my first beer I ever drank in my entire life.
That one right there?
Well, not this bottle.
Style. I understand.
I went to Germany when I was in high school, and I was 16 years old, and in Germany you can drink when you're 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this beer, and I've been looking for it ever since, and I found it today.
Oh,
of all days.
It was meant to be.
It was. I believe so. A wonderful, delicious beer.
So that first time, how many of those did you drink your first time?
Not very many. I didn't like the taste. I wasn't accustomed to Hefeweizen beer at all.
But now you're all about it. Well, good for you.
That was my favorite.
Well, good. In favorites, it's good. We like to mix up a little bit here, and so I'm sure next week when we're doing this again, I'll have something other than the nitro milks out. But it was pretty tasty. Bliss, how was that maple beer you got back there?
Oh my God, this is amazing! I want to marry this beer and have like 1 million of its little hoppy babies.
I'd like to drink those.
It's fantastic.
And it sounds like another good piece of erotica fiction there.
A little bit of that. Well, on that note, I'm going to call
where
it.
Where did beer come from?
Well, thanks very much, both of you, Bliss and Doug, for coming on the show tonight. We definitely appreciate it. We'll definitely have links out in the show notes where you can get to all these fantastic people's properties, check out what they've got to do, and hopefully you'll check out more and learn from them and collaborate. It's what we do here on the internet. It's why we do the Books and Beer Hangout. It's definitely an important tool. So thanks once again for checking out. It is the Books and Beer Hangout. We do it every Thursday night at 6 p.m., although not necessarily next weekend because I'm going to Mexico, but I'm sure Jeff will figure out something to do on his own time there. Yeah, you can do all that. We're at epublishunum.com. I'm Evo Terra. That's my partner, Jeff Moriarty, right over there. Together we make up ePublish Unum, and we do the Books and Beer Hangout. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Ciao.